Greetings developers, this is Manfred Bergmann. I'd like to show you, or I'd like to give you an introduction to the Common Lisp cl-gserver library. It is a library basically intended to encapsulate state. So whenever you have in your program uh, a variable or some state that must be thread safe because multiple processes or multiple threads potentially must access it or must write to it or must update the state, then the cl-gserver library can help you with this. And today I'd like to introduce the simplest form of how you can do this, and this is the agent. So the agent is also known in Clojure and in cl-gserver. And this form of agent is more leaned towards the cl-gserver functionality, or not only functionality, also the syntax, how you use it. But they are both similar in that they just encapsulate some state and allow you to get the state, to update the state, and stuff like this. So yeah, how does it work? We first need to load the library. It's available in QuickLisp. And then let me define a package where we can work in. There are different sub-packages, and we use today only the cl-gserver agent. So you usually have some state defined via def parameter in your application, probably. So what you can do is you can create an agent. There's a function called make agent, and what it takes is a lambda function that so this function is to initialize the agent state. So we could for example initialize this agent with an empty map, an fset empty map. Fset is a library for that that provides immutable data types or immutable collections. And here we can use the fset map in this agent. So now we have an agent. What can we do with it? We can first get the state. There's a function agent get my agent, and then we need a function that returns us the state. In which case, when I want the complete state, entity, when I want the complete state as it is stored in this agent, then I can use identity and it just returns the state as is. In which case we see that it's an empty map. What we also see here already is that we see some logging. So cl-gserver uses log4cl, and we can in fact change the config, the log level to debug. And when we do this operation again, you will see a little bit more what's happening. But usually you might want to set this to warn only, and then it's quite silent. So yeah, now we want to update the state. So you call agent update on my agent, and you also need to specify a lambda. The parameter of this lambda is the current state of this actor, of this agent. And what you can do now is so we can update the state. So this lambda basically must return a new state. So we can use fsetWidth on the state, and we add an entry to this map. So T indicates that this operation was successful because it is actually an asynchronous operation. And what we can do now is again get the state, and we will see that we now have an M entry in our map. So you might ask, why do I need to specify a function on the agent get? Well, the simple answer is this is enormously flexible. So you could, for example, also specify a lambda and only provide a part of the state. So for example, we could use lookup and only return a part of this map, right? Oh yeah, so I of course need to specify the actual map in this here. So yeah, so the usual use case is probably that you don't use those core agent functions directly. So you would probably hide them behind some functions, right? For example, so you would have a function for get a, look up state a. So this is what you would create a facade like this, also to update your state, so that you don't need to use or don't need to specify those functions all the time, right? Get a. So yeah, but this was yeah. There's not much more to say actually, and I'd like to do 2 more video sessions on this. One to introduce the actor, and the other one to introduce the core of this, the cl-gserver. So both the actor and the agent are basically are based on the cl-gserver. They are just a little bit simple. So there are simplifications of the cl-gserver. As you can see, this agent here does a lot of things, and the cl-gserver is quite more generic. So, but yeah, thank you for watching. Goodbye.